Pod.
Rugby pod.
Hello and welcome back to the Rugby Pod after a huge week in rugby across the globe, not just on the field, but also off it. Drama.
Yes, Razor is out of a job and he might bump into some of the Champions Cup coaches at the job centre as well after plenty.
Like
I'm just reading what Rob's written. Rob wants to sack people after some of the clubs went out this weekend. There's plenty to discuss after the final round of Champions Cup pool stage action, as well as a wild week off the field with some massive transfer rumours as well. It's all happening, Jim.
It's all happening, so let's get into it. Settle back, enjoy. Make sure you subscribed on the number one channel in the world, the platform. We love them. You love them. You're here. It's Spotify.
How are we, boys? Did you have a nice afternoon together in Glasgow yesterday?
Never saw each other.
Well, we saw each other for about 5 seconds.
I kept away from him. Jinxed him last week, didn't we?
You did. You jinxed me. I've had man flu this weekend.
Bulletproof. No more.
I blame the kids.
So I've seen him at the game yesterday and he's not looking right. And I've seen him in some of the worst states you've ever seen a human being. And he ain't flinching. And I'm like, there is 2 piss holes in the snow. You're in Glasgow and you can't see, which means you can't see in Scottish. And I was like, what's happened? The king has been dethroned. Jinxed.
Yeah,
last
I got
week.
Jinxed.
So if you didn't listen last week, basically I said this man had COVID for an hour when we were on the train. We tested him, he had kebab and chips. Tested him an hour later.
It was actually a sausage and chips.
Well, you had a kebab as well.
Okay.
There might have been the sausage and chips wrapped together. And an hour later, COVID was gone.
It's gone.
And off the back of that, he texted me and said, I am man down in Chinatown. Only I can say Chinatown, but you were man down.
Oh, man. I got home Friday after the Bath Edinburgh game and I got home at 1 o'clock.
You sounded all right in that game.
No, that was when it started to kick in.
Okay.
The drive home, I'm like, oh my days, this is all. I've been in bed a lot this weekend. Basically Saturday. And then Sunday I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go up to Glasgow. And yeah, it's been a tough couple of days, but I waved to Jim and you actually came over. I've got to call you out actually. What's the one thing that you said to me yesterday when I was on comms?
Are you hungry?
Well, you said that as well, probably. Marcus Street's just dislocated his elbow.
And did he?
Well, he played on.
Warrior.
I've called it on comms. I'm like, I've just been told Marcus Street has dislocated his elbow.
And what?
And he played on. Did they put it back in on the pitch?
It looked like they put it back in. He was on oxygen.
Oh, it actually was?
Mate, tell me I'm wrong, someone.
Oh, maybe it's true then. Maybe he's just tough as our
Maybe
boots.
it's true. So I've inputted. Sorry, Goody's segueing slightly. So I'm at the game with Saracens, and because I feel left out and I'm not inputting any kind of rugby knowledge, Goody's on comms. His eyes are redder than you've ever seen, like he's been wiping chlorine in them. And I'm just, hey. He's on comms doing this thing, hey. And I was like, Marcus Street's popped his elbow, and he's obviously said it on comms, and he might or he might not have, I don't know.
If he has, he's tough as our boots.
It looked like he dislocated his elbow and carried on. That's what it looked like. I might be wrong. I'm not a doctor, even though my mate Pisshead Dave is a PhD. But this is about you. Fair play to you for fronting up, because I had people messaging me, has Goody been out on the smash on the goo all night? And I'm like, no. I was like, I said, if he has, you would never know. And I know. But you're real.
I've been
Fair play.
I've been ill. We jinxed it last week. We poked the bear and said, this doesn't happen, and it's happened. So thanks, lads. But you still worried through.
He did.
2 days graft over the weekend. Spent a lot of time on my day off in bed, but
that's what you do.
That's what you do, James.
Yeah, fair play to you. You're a machine when it comes to that, because other people, as we know, Rob, when he's feeling a bit off, you don't see him for a week.
I'd have had a week off.
Yeah, he would have had a week off. Yeah.
Well, we jinxed Goody, and I think we jinxed Sarries as well, didn't we? Because we were talking them up last week. Big win over Toulouse. But they weren't up to much, were they, in Glasgow?
Well, that's a bit harsh. They weren't up to much.
No, it's not. I think that's quite fair, to be honest.
They weren't up to much.
In Glasgow last night. Now, I know I've been ill, but they weren't up to much.
But I think he's said it the wrong way, because I think what Rob should have said is, how good were Glasgow?
Yeah.
Fair,
and that's
fair,
nothing to do with my association with Sarries.
Yes, true, actually.
People are asking me about
Rob, be quiet.
Glasgow the night before. And I'm not trying to open you up here, and I'm not trying to be protective of Sarries. People were asking me on Saturday, I was at an event with a few people from in Glasgow and Sarries partners and stuff, and what's this Glasgow team like? Because a lot of people who don't watch rugby and maybe only see the internationals or Scotland or whatever, would just think, oh, Glasgow all right. And I'm having to say, no, they won the URC a couple of years ago. They've got British and Irish Lions playing. Well, both teams had them. You look at the profile of the Glasgow team, and this is what I was saying. You've got some of the players who are in the form and the prime of their life. And Hugh Jones is leaving, and we'll mention that later. But you've got, from a, let's go like a Glasgow perspective, you've got George Horn. It could have been him or Jamie Dobie. I don't know what's wrong with Jamie Dobie if he was...
He's injured at the moment.
Yeah, okay, injured. So two very, very good scrum halves who are in unbelievable form. Okay, we'll mention Dan Lancaster in a bit. Clearly knows his way around a rugby field. Okay, and he's been playing really well. You've got two of the best centres in the world, Sione Tuipulotu and Hugh Jones. For me, and I tweeted it last week, and you saw it the weekend, you've got a world-class winger in Carl Steyn, who no one really speaks about. Injured, captain on the wing, right? You've got Scott Cummins, you've got Xander Fagerson, you've got Rory Darge, and you've got Jack Dempsey, who was exceptional. So from a profile point of view, that Glasgow team are great. And I didn't call it at the beginning of the season. I didn't know whether, with them losing a few different people and players last year, whether or not Glasgow would, one, win or be there or thereabouts for the URC. And probably not in the Champions Cup. That's what I would have said. I also said I didn't think that Franco Smith, or Smith, I'd call him Franco Smith, could be Scotland coach. From what I've seen for the last few games this season... What do you know,
James Hamilton?
And I don't claim to know anything. I'm just going based on in that moment in time.
Yeah.
My point, the long way round, because you opened it up saying about Sarries, this Glasgow team are proper. Good. They're a good team. However which way you look at it, from the players that I've mentioned, and there's a few that I missed out as well, from the style of rugby that they play, from an attacking point of view with them players, defensively, very strong, incredibly physical.
Yeah.
Now, you think about how they won the URC and the teams in which they beat to do that. They did it in South Africa. So against big, big physical teams. And I knew with Sarries going up there that if people were like, I'll get a win up in Glasgow. I was like, this will be Saracens' hardest game they've played. Even harder than Toulouse because the conditions almost made it a leveler for them. I thought Glasgow were incredible.
Yeah, they were.
Against Saracens.
They were. And you look at some of the stats in the game, and they're talking about the carries that Sarries had and the meters after contact. And all that. Shows how... And defence doesn't get talked about a lot unless you are a team that blitzes necessarily and gets off the line and goes and makes massive hits. But just seeing how well connected Glasgow were defensively, don't pile numbers into breakdowns, just fan out, have a really well connected defensive line, and they just swallowed everything Sarries threw at them. Sarries were off the boil. And it's our mad sport when last week they were so good at home to Toulouse on a minging Sunday, and then a week later it's still minging up in Glasgow. Like the weather was sideways rain at one point, wasn't there? But I think a lot of it is to do with the motivation. So I think last week Sarries knew they had to win that to stay in the competition, because then it would be double jeopardy having to go to Glasgow this week and try and win. But fair play to Glasgow. 5 match points in every game. So played 4, won 4 with bonus points in every game. It's a phenomenal thing that they've achieved. And it's now given them the right to go, if they can win their last 16 in the quarter-final, you get a semi-final potentially at Murrayfield. So, which is a massive, I said it the other week, didn't I? Massive thing for Scottish rugby. And Franco Smith's done a hell of a job with the players that he's got. And, they are real contenders for a lot of the reasons that you said, but also the style of rugby that they play and how attack-minded they are at times. It is a joy to watch them. Yeah. And that's coming from an Englishman.
There you go.
Be interesting to see if they can bleed some of that form through to the Scotland team in the Six Nations.
Yes, of course.
It is something you talk about a lot, about some of those
Is this your year,
lads.
James? Or we leave that for a couple of weeks?
But when you look at Scotland, right, and you look at the 2 games which were the talking points in the autumn, New Zealand, and they look very good against New Zealand.
Yeah.
They look quite similar to Glasgow, how they played. Very physical, breakdown was good, defence, attacking shapes. So they're not far away from one beating New Zealand. And apart from that, and I know that there's a mental thing, but I'm going based on athletically how they move, their contacts, their hits, their physicality, some of the players that we've just mentioned then. They are doing that for Scotland. The thing is with Franco, and this is where I'm feeling more convinced and maybe siding with the fact that he could be the next Scotland coach, is the mentality that they have got. And you saw them 21-0 down against Toulouse and they come back. Like, that's not a fluke. That is mentally a team that are in a great place. So, yeah, and I imagine, and I'll say it, and I hope, that Gregor picks players that are in form. Carl Steyn.
Yeah.
He is the form winger in Scotland now, above Darcy, above Douan. That's a fact.
And Jamie Dobie.
Jamie Dobie, he could play on the left wing. He's in more informed than Darcy at the minute. He is. And whether or not that's the way that Glasgow are made up, that's a fact. So if Scotland want to do so, you need to pick players that are in form. And I think he'll do that. And the fact that you see Sione Tuipulotu and Hugh Jones and how that connection works and they're both fit, they're playing. You could pick 3 nines, you could pick Jamie Dobie, you could pick George Horn, and you can pick Ben White. You've got 3 great scrum halves. So, yeah, this is why the Scotland Six Nations under Gregor Townsend now, because there's no excuses now, really, because you've got players that are in form that are playing well. Glasgow are playing an incredible style of rugby. It's about how he makes up his team, but if you look at it, most of them will be Glasgow.
Quins, the Champions Cup's their competition, isn't it?
He called it, didn't it? Fair play to him. And, you know, going over to La Rochelle, when La Rochelle knew they needed just a losing bonus point to qualify, and they've ended up with nothing. That's the biggest, I don't know what the word is, balls up, I suppose, from a La Rochelle perspective ever. But fair play to Quins. They were physical. Marcus Smith, man of the match, controlled the game. Yes, he got one tackle wrong where he's a bit high and it didn't look great, got a yellow card. But he makes a try-saving tackle, I think, on Niniashvili in the corner. Controlled the game really well. And I was so shocked by... You expected La Rochelle... I don't know what it is with Quins. Like, sometimes you're like, oh, they could take 50 today. Because they have been doing that. But they were wicked. You know, Don Brandt, I thought, carried really well. Lordy comes on, and I think it's his 100th game, scores a try. And Quins, you know, fair play, they talked about it. And he said, we're targeting the Champions Cup. And they are. And they've got a last 16 home game now against Sale. But what a result that is. Fair play to Quins. We've hammered them on here. And rightly so, because they've been poor. Conceding 50, 60 points here, there and everywhere. But to go over to La Rochelle, and they've got a history of doing well in France in these group games and also the odd knockout game. But goodness, mate.
I never.
No one thought that was coming.
Well, they've thrown the towel in on Boxing Day.
For the Prem.
But I thought just for the season. I was like, that's
No,
it
that's just
done.
the Prem.
Just the Prem, apparently. So I apologise to Harlequins because I did not see that coming. That one was the shock of the weekend. Castres. Still, mate, Quinn's going to La Rochelle when they had an opportunity and the history they've got in the tournament and being at home. I didn't see it coming in. Maybe Rogers' meeting with the hierarchy didn't go too well before, and he was like, fuck it.
Fuck it, lads, we ain't playing.
Well, they're in the Challenge Cup
Go on, win
now.
the Challenge Cup.
Cheers.
But
Have you seen who we've got in the Challenge Cup?
Newcastle, haven't they?
Yeah, for fuck's sake.
Don't worry.
Is it at Newcastle or is it at...
I'm not sure.
You're building a team, though. You're building a team.
I
No
think
one
it's
knows
at
who the players
Newcastle.
are coming in, but you're building the team.
What's a bigger shock? Quins beating La Rochelle in France or Castres going to Munster and getting a result?
Both on par, I would say. I was more shocked at Quins because...
was giving Leicester a route into the last 16.
Yeah, but because they did throw the towel in on Boxing Day. But then when you look at the Castres game, and we've spent a bit of time in Munster and we've been talking up Munster and how it feels different under Clayton McMillan and Castres' history in the tournament, which you never know what you're going to get. And I questioned them last week and the week before.
Well, they beat Sarries away last year, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Short
Selective
memory.
memory.
But you're right. Like you associate Castres with an average Champions Cup team. But then last year they got to the quarterfinals. They got a spanking at Northampton, but they did beat Saracens at Saracens. They beat the Bulls and they beat someone else at home. And they're tough at home to beat. They beat Munster at home last year. So it's not a surprise when Castres win at home, but away from home at Munster, Thomond Park, where you expect... I think we're being nostalgic about Munster because they're a big club in terms of the history 20 years ago of this competition. You look at their squad and there's some talent there, but there's a fair few average players in that squad, and that's me sounding a bit harsh, but when you speak to a few people around the game at Munster, they're like, the squad isn't good enough to compete as it used to compete or be a top team in the Champions Cup. And so was it that much of a surprise? Clayton McMillan's come in, they had a really good start to the season. I think the wheels are coming off a little bit. Oh, not from his perspective as coach, but just results based. It's, the last few weeks haven't been great, have they?
Well, there's been a few cracks in Ireland. I hate saying that, but I have to say it because of what's coming around the corner and some of the injuries they've got, especially in the front row. And there's talk of crisis as they go into the Six Nations, which is going to be awesome, by the way, because there's no out-and-out winner that we can call now.
England.
But digging even further in, there's rumours.
What rumours,
They're adding
James?
to the squad. I can't see it happening, and I don't know where this guy has any Irish in him, but Jack Willis from Toulouse to Munster.
I think it's one of his grandparents is Irish.
He's Irish then.
Well, it'll be two fingers up to Steve Borthwick in England, wouldn't it?
So he's going to go to Munster
No, I don't.
in order to play for Ireland.
No.
I can't see it, but there are rumours doing the round. Who's picked up that rumour, by the way?
I've heard it on the grapevine.
So it's Rob.
I don't reveal my sources.
Rob's been on the message boards.
I love how we put you out to the Wolves.
Jack Willis had a Guinness and he's Irish now.
I do
not
like
handy.
the look of Edwin and Dogbo, though.
Yeah. If he can get his injury profile
Big bit of kit.
under
innit?
control.
Big bit of kit.
I say his injury profile. His injury profile isn't great, sorry. If he can get his body and his injuries under control, which you see a lot of young lads coming through who are good athletes, who are heavy, who are powerful, they go through that initial cycle, loads of weight on quickly. But yeah, if you speak to people in Ireland, friend of the show, Bernard Jackman, Edwin Adogbu seems like the future that they're looking at. And as the likes of James Ryan as well, who's got a lot of miles on the clock, and you're seeing some of the other big carriers like Ty Furlong
McCarthy.
struggling with his calf at the minute.
They've got a lot of injuries on, haven't they?
They've got a lot of big injuries. Yeah, and I mentioned Ty Furlong, he's been a big ball carrier for them. And if you look at Ireland now, where are the big ball carriers that the big nations have? And in Edwin Adogbu, you've got a big
You've got a big unit.
You've got a big unit who can potentially do that. So, from what I've heard, and Bernard Jackman's mentioned that he could be the guy.
Yeah.
Here's a stat for you, lads. 31 consecutive pool victories for Leinster.
Decent stat, that. But is it a kind of direct representation of how the competition is formatted?
Oh, do you want to get into that? Balls minus 61, points difference. Oh, there you go, round of 16. Sorry, go on.
Well,
Sorry, I had
yeah,
negative.
I know.
Sorry.
I mean, Leicester only won one game and they've qualified as well. I mean, I think there's too many teams in the competition. I think 24 teams is too much. And it's trying to find a good balance. And everyone goes, oh, the old way was the best way. You go back to the old way, there were so many dead rubbers as well. So they tried to change and it all happened around COVID, didn't it, effectively? And everyone loved the back-to-back games. There's less pool games now. So you qualify sometimes with one victory, as we've seen. And the Bulls qualified with one victory because they had their best player on Friday night. Do you know who their best player was on Friday night?
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Carl Dixon. 2 try assists for the Bulls, if you saw it. Oh, my days, Carl. Helping someone out of a maul. Break away, bro. I'm going to pull your jersey because I want you to score. And then if you watch, there's another clip that's doing the rounds where he's basically boshed the guard defender out of the way, so they do a pick and go and he scores. I mean, Carl Dixon won't be going back to Poe very quickly. But, yeah, I mean, there's no perfect solution. And, you know, there was no dead rubbers this weekend. And so every game had something on it, which is a huge positive. But I get there are qualms with how it looks and how it's all worked out, and obviously with the Bulls getting one victory in qualifying. But that's what makes it exciting when you get to that last game and it's all to play for. But I don't know. I haven't got time to think about it at the minute as to what could be better. What would you do, Rob? What does a fan want to see? Jim, what would you do? Ben, come up with some ideas.
Less teams.
16 teams, I reckon.
Start the round of 16, I think. Drop
What's the
group
name of the
stages.
tournament?
It's the Investec Champions Cup, James.
Okay, take off the Investec. What's the name of the tournament?
Was the Champions Cup, but
Champions Cup.
There's no tournament 'cause you ain't got a sponsor.
Okay. But I'm doubling down and reiterating the name Champions Cup.
Yeah,
Now,
we can only have 3 champions
yeah,
technically.
but you have teams that are close to being champions. You have the best of the best, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
If you are getting absolutely humperdinked, right, for whatever reason, because you're putting out a second team, because you're out the tournament, because you're resting player, that's not champion mindset. Or to the audience, you're not selling a premium Premier Sports championship tournament, right? And I understand, like, you have the Champions League in football,
that's changed now. It looks.
yeah, of course.
I don't get that.
I don't understand why we can't just come out and say, and I love the people involved in the Invested Champions Cup. Like, I'm mates with the chairman. I partay with him. But it doesn't need me to say or for you to ask the question. Every single person watching it, there can't be one. If there's one, please come out and say, this is great. This is working. From however you're looking at it. We know the players aren't happy. We know the coaches aren't happy. We know the people in the TV who own the TV rights aren't happy because you're not getting the best players and you're basically getting dead rubbers and you're getting games. The fans aren't selling out the stadium. So at some point you need to be, well, we need to change it. And one of the issues that we have in rugby is we don't address the elephants in the room. Like, I've addressed you many times.
I'm an elephant.
We're an honest man.
Yeah.
Saying, Andrew, enough's enough. You need to stop.
Yeah.
You know, stop eating.
Yeah.
Okay, get that gastric band tied back together.
Shut
okay.
up, you idiot.
Well, you tell me. You're doing it week in, week out. And I love the tournament. It was my favourite tournament. It was like Champions Cup is the tournament. Now,
yeah, there are issues with it. And we say it every year, once you get to the quarters or sometimes round of 16, some humdingers. But it's more so the quarterfinals. And the last weekend was exciting because there was so much on every game. And you're trying to plot the pathway of... At one point, they were saying that Glasgow were going to end up playing Edinburgh in the last 16 and be the third 1872 Cup or whatever. And you just...
that's the way to sell it.
Yeah.
Without being harsh. That's the way to sell it, is it?
But that's I suppose that's the thing around trying to make a competition. And you go back to the old days where, and this is a fact of it now, so rugby players don't necessarily play any more than 5 games on the spin. You think back to our day, you play 15 games on the bounce, no problem. And that's the change in physicality of the game. That's the change in mindset, change in understanding of the physics of the body. And so there wasn't many teams back in the day that used to rotate, and now you have to rotate throughout the season. And we say it in the Prem, we say it in the URC, the top 14. Every top 14 club sends the shags to a lot of the away games, don't they? Because they have to rotate and get through games and whatever. And it's now spread into the Champions Cup as well, because if you rotate, you still might qualify.
Well, they were 10-3 down at half-time as well, Leinster, and it took a cameo appearance from our mate Prendo to turn the game round.
Is he your mate, is he?
Well,
You claiming that?
I like him.
Does he follow the pod?
Probably.
Didn't even know. It's that big time now, he doesn't know who
I mean,
follows.
the story around Prendergast and Harry Byrne and Jack Crowley and the 3-way sort of pull for the Ireland 10
That blew up
jersey.
last week, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well done, social team.
Yeah. But in reality, Sam Prendergast comes off the bench this week. Harry gets picked ahead of him. And Sam comes off the bench, does really well, changes the game a little bit, obviously scores. And I'd chuff for him because obviously, imagine being Leo and you've got to manage the emotions of these players as well for Leinster. And mainly your 2 fly-halves, Harry Byrne and Sam Prendergast, who both want to be the guy. It's a hard thing to do as a head coach, that. But you can only sort of pat Prendergast on the back for his performance. Changed it a little bit, didn't he? Gave him impetus. Weather conditions were poor, but they were just nuggety and got the win. But interestingly, obviously, they haven't got home semi-final advantage now, Leinster. Maybe it's their year. Maybe they've had it too easy. It's going to end up being their year. But going over to Bayonne, who were fully loaded, Bayonne, I don't know what, all of a sudden they think, oh, we better try and win a game because they couldn't qualify. But they made it tough for Leinster and a few injury issues for Leinster as well. Tyg Furlong came off with... How many times has he done his calf?
That's not good, is it, when
No.
you see that? And again, not a doctor, PhD. Is it a back issue?
I've never done my calf, so I don't know. But
Yeah.
having said that, next week my calf will blow up probably because that's what we said last week. I mean, it's bad though, isn't it?
Well, it's bad for him.
And you
first.
scrummaging as well.
Yeah. Again, they say calf issues can come from stuff in your back. And you think of the amount of rugby that Ty Furlong's played as well and the way that he plays the game. Doesn't feel good, does it? And you've got Pat McCarthy as well, who's got a serious foot injury. I know Finlay Beelam's been out as well. And there's talk of a prop crisis in Ireland.
That is worrying for Ireland. I think their scrum struggled in the Autumn Nation series.
Yeah, with Andrew Porter's out as well for the Six Nations as well. I texted Bernard Jackman actually, and I said I said prop crisis ?
What did he say?
Yes.
The end.
he did say, but Boyle is fit, and so is Clarkson and Finlay Bealham apparently as well. So very light at loose head. And if you're Ireland, and you mentioned it there, even with the boys in, they've struggled at scrum time. That's been their thing. You think how dominant England scrum is, France is, Scotland, Glasgow were very good
scrum
against
last night.
Sarries.
Yeah, very good scrum
as well.
Yeah,
that could be an issue for them. I feel for Ty Furlong, and I love Andrew Porter as well. They're brilliant for the tournament as well, but some big injuries, eh?
Right then, through to the knockouts.
Yes.
Bordeaux against Leicester.
Clubs now are obviously plotting their pathway potentially through to the final, and the halves of the draw that each team's come out. And Bordeaux play Leicester. Good luck, Leicester. Winner of that, Toulouse against Bristol. How good have Bristol been? And obviously they lose to Bordeaux at home. But your prize is Toulouse away.
Great for them, though. If you looked at it from a different perspective, them to play Bordeaux and how well Bristol have looked at times of this season, if they are going to challenge for the Prem, let's just say that specifically, and we don't know where they're going to go in this tournament, might be Toulouse. Toulouse don't look the same.
Yeah.
All right against Sale, though. It gives Bristol, I think, this evolution that they need, like a different perspective, different teams, and actually having some really tough games against Bordeaux, the champs, and then going to Toulouse. Bodes well for them.
I think the cards they were dealt with at the start of this year as well with the injuries.
Don't you?
Yeah.
Lost your 10.
Yeah.
Who else?
And the 9.
Yeah.
Randall's back now, but he was out for a while. Everything was on the line on Sunday. Winner takes all, Bristol against Bordeaux. And you lose in a scrappy game, and I know BLBRA gets a try at the end to get the bonus point, but you 3 from 3 and your prize is Toulouse away. And it's a good thing, I get it. Everyone says, we want to beat the best to become champions or whatever. You're not telling me you'd rather a home tie against, I don't know, some of the Shags. But, they're obviously going to do it the hard way. So, Bordeaux, Leicester, they play each other. The winner plays the winner of Toulouse and Bristol. Bath v Saracens, James.
Yeah.
That'll be a belter.
Yeah.
In the last 16. And the winner
Good
of that...
Good draw for Sarries, that.
Yeah. And the winner of that plays Northampton against Castres. So Northampton. But don't be surprised by Castres.
I know.
So we will probably get an all-English quarterfinal there. But imagine, though, the other thing, and I was using the analogy about Bristol, you've done so well, and then your prize is Toulouse away. Sale, shock him, send the kids. And where do you sit with this selection thing from them? Rested load of boys, you got a home last 16. Imagine being some of those kids, I can't wait to come play Toulouse, fully loaded. You take 77 points.
I imagine if you strapped the coaches, strap on, Alex Anderson is a bit, what do they call it, freaky. Would they say that they'd rather just leave this tournament now and rest the players? But the thing is, with the Prem, they're not close to top 4 now, or maybe they've got an outside shot. It's been a tough season for Sale, is what I'm saying. So I don't really know what their thinking is. But
they got an away last 16 to Quins.
Maybe they didn't want
Which is the perfect draw.
Oh, but okay, yeah. Sorry, I didn't know where you were going with it, but you are then
like,
saying that they've got an opportunity
Bristol,
there.
Your Bristol, you've gone 3 from 3, you've done well. Your prize is Toulouse away, or your Sale, who you've lost at home to Glasgow. You did have a good win on the road, to be fair, at Claremont, but Claremont played 4, lost 4. And then, ultimately you've got smoked by Toulouse in the last round. So sending the kids out to Toulouse, some of them might never recover from that. And then your prize for being shambolic in the last round. Shambolic's a bit harsh, but you've sent them to the Wolves, haven't you? And then
great development. That's how you sell it to what Toulouse? Yeah, they've got.
Isn't it funny,
they've got.
Yeah, isn't it funny though when you see all these rotations, you only ever rotate and send them to away games, don't you? And basically learn at the coalface, lads. Off you go. But Sale will fancy that Quins away. I'm sure they will.
Yeah, they will.
The last 16. So they're in the other half of the draw, and then they'll play. So Glasgow play the Bulls. The winner of that will play the winner of Toulon against the Stormers. And then Leinster play Edinburgh. Edinburgh, any chance, James?
No,
didn't think so. You thought about it?
Well, I was thinking where they are as a squad, loads of injuries, and you saw that against Bath, and all the injuries came up on screen. But it's Leinster.
Yeah. And then the winner of Leinster against Edinburgh, so Leinster will play Harlequins or Sale.
Right, let's press pause on the Champions Cup for now because this might be the spiciest week of other news we've had for a while.
Well, Rob, it's not just other news. In other news!
I wish I could do that. Just try and do it. I know I'll cough. In other news!
Here we go. Well, the big bit of news, and some might say the only news, but it's not. There's a load more, is around New Zealand, the great All Blacks sacking, who I see as the great Scott Robertson this week after a review was done, and there was like rumours of splits in the camp. Ardie Surveyor's coming out saying that, did he come out, or was it rumours that he'd come out? Did he come out on social media saying that he's basically going to leave New Zealand?
There's rumours that it was Ardie Surveyor, it was Borden Barrett, and basically the senior players have come together and ousted him, basically.
Anyone that's never played for the Crusaders, right?
Well, if you go based on David Kirk, who is CEO, director of rugby, bigwig, their front man for the news around Scott Robertson, had nothing to do with Ardie Surveyor, but by him mentioning Ardie Surveyor in the press conference made me think, well, it had everything to do with him. For me, on Scott Robertson, one, I'm a massive fan of him. The rumours were that the podcast that I did with Scott Robertson fucked a few things up because he put a lot of pressure on the All Blacks. I'm not saying that the Big Jim show had any influence on him getting the All Blacks job, but apparently it did. He was at a difficult starting point because Ian Foster was being moved on so they didn't lose Razor, effectively. This is what I heard. I'll just keep saying allegedly, and I'm not going to say it anymore. Allegedly. So Ian Foster gets told before the World Cup that he's not going to be All Blacks coach after the World Cup. He then takes them to the final, nearly beats South Africa, right? And all the players are gutted that he's leaving because they loved Ian Foster. And if you see some bits now, he's brought out a book and he's talking about how hard it is to be an All Blacks coach. Scott Robertson, amazing club record with the Crusaders, played rugby in France, charismatic as they come, a wicked, wicked dude. And he's gone in there and there's been a few cracks, hasn't there? And there's a number of things with the All Blacks, right? One, they're a team in transition. We've spoken about that. They've lost more games than you're used to seeing them lose, albeit his win percentage is better than Ian Foster's.
Yeah, 76%. I think.
There you go.
Foster's down 73, 74.
But when you're an All Blacks coach or a player, you're expected to win every game. But the story and the narrative coming out of the camp, and if you look at the fact that Liam McDonald, one of the coaches, left early within his contract, that things weren't all rosy. But that, I didn't see that coming. Did you, mate?
I knew there was rumblings that they weren't happy and there was issues. And this is a thing with New Zealand where, going back to our era of international rugby, New Zealand were the team, right? New Zealand were the best in the world and they were the sort of standard setters. Now it's South Africa because they've won back-to-back World Cups and everything that Razzie's achieved. So New Zealanders' noses are out of joint because they're not the bigwigs anymore. So there's a reality of it. Have they just been caught up and overtaken by South Africa and been caught up by other teams? Yes. Is rugby on the wane in New Zealand? I think it is a little bit. And I didn't see him getting sacked. And we're not as close to the game over there as we are over here. But you do a bit of digging and a bit of research, and it is all about, he's had no outside experience apart from the Crusaders. And he was very successful there. One mate said to me, he said, me and you, Jim, could have won 7 Super Rugby titles with that Crusader squad as head coach. That's one of the comments. I think he divides opinion in New Zealand.
Well, he's very different to what they're used to. He's a lot younger than any coach that they've had.
Yeah.
He's probably challenged the narrative on, and again, I've got no idea. I'm just thinking for reasons why. And if you look at some of the commentators over there, you look at Sir John Kerwin, you look at Mills Mulaina, you look at Israel Dagg, you look at Jeff Wilson. So people who have a voice of the game who are very close, Justin Marshall, no one saw it coming.
Yeah, it's ballsy. The other side of it for me is, if you're not happy as an environment or as an organisation, how long do you let it fester for? If you know there's a problem there, when you've had Ardie Surveyor potentially and Bowden Barrett potentially and other players voicing these concerns, and you've lost the dressing room. I'm sure I've read somewhere where Scott Robertson's admitted somewhere that there's some discourse in the dressing room under him. I'm sure, allegedly. Let's just say allegedly.
But there clearly is, though. Yeah. I mean, these rumours...
But if he's admitting that, there's obviously a massive problem. Because you know a lot of coaches, they just deny it and go, no. No, they'll do as they're told. But like, the world has changed now. Player power is so important now. And when you've got Ardie, who is your number one player in New Zealand in the Ardie Surveyor, if he ain't happy and you're talking about leaving before... All he's had to do is say, I might go to Leinster and not playing the World Cup.
Not losing another one there.
Scott, you're gone. And, and that's how it is.
Ballsy call.
He's going the Red Bulls anyway. He's going to be drinking Red Bulls. He's going to be doing spinning round, breakdancing.
There you go. Right, here we go. If the Red Bulls mean business, and I'm still waiting, they've made some good signings. Okay, Rafi Quirk's a good signing for them. Great age profile.
400 large, I heard.
400 large, good. If you get Scott Robertson, I promise you now, if you get Scott Robertson, one, I'd get the tattoo of Newcastle on my arse, and I would support Newcastle. It ain't happening.
You'd get a tattoo of Newcastle on your arse?
If Scott Robertson goes there. I got Big Mac on my arm. Do you think I'm worried about getting a Newcastle one on my arm?
Can we 100% confirm that now?
A million percent. 1,000,000%. I would do that. I would get a tattoo of Newcastle.
Have you got a Saracens tattoo?
I've got a star.
A star? What from?
Just a star, because that was part of the tattoo design that I liked back in 2006 or 7. Nothing to do with Saracens.
Oh, okay. Jim, when was the last time you put on a T-shirt and instantly thought, yeah, that actually looks really good on me?
You mean not baggy around the arms, not clinging in weird places? Well, all the time now.
That's basically the entire point of True Classic. They built the brand around fixing the most annoying thing in menswear, T-shirts that don't fit properly.
Well, they've nailed it. Over 30 million shirts sold. 5-star reviews. They're everywhere, Andrew.
They've sent us some, and you genuinely notice it straight away. Proper shape on the chest and shoulders, relax around the midriff for me, and soft enough that you can actually want to wear it.
And the best bit? You're not paying stupid designer prices for the T-shirts. Right now, you get 20% off everything when you head to our link, trueclassic.com/rugbypod.
That's trueclassic.com/rugbypod. 20% off. Job done.
Another rumour is that there's a clause in Tony Brown's contract that will let him leave the box if Jamie Joseph becomes the All Blacks coach.
I think you'll find that Razzie has put that to bed.
With his dog in bed.
Did you see social media post? Only Razzie. How good's that? How good's that? Razzie will not let Tony Brown go now.
Well, not after what we've seen. And I don't know about the clauses in contracts and all of these things. For me, I think Jamie Joseph is the next All Blacks coach. I think it's a done deal.
Yeah.
There was rumours circulating around that. He coached the New Zealand 15 or All Blacks 15 or A-team or whatever. So if there is a clause and we know how much Tony Brown's valued and how good a coach he is, and he's a Kiwi, could you turn down that opportunity to take your team to a World Cup? Johan Erasmus, today is a great day. Sleep, Lekker, South Africa fag. I'm not leaving. With Tony Brown's face superimposed on Leonardo DiCaprio in the film Wolf of Wall Street, where it was very loose.
Could you see Savea going to Leinster?
Not now. Not now he's got Scott Robertson the sack.
I don't like that around player power. If that is the case, I don't think Ardy comes out of that well, is my opinion. If that is the case, there's not enough information that's come out about it. But David Kirk's saying that.
Well, he's denied it, David Kirk, hasn't he?
Yeah. So
which means it's true.
Which means it's true. But maybe I'm being too harsh. Could I see Leinster salary cap? What is the salary cap? How much they paying players? No, they're right at 8, aren't they? They're right in the back row. Anywhere else?
I think the whole link with Geordie Barrett and then Rieko Ioane.
Yeah.
I think Ardy's just gone. He's playing Japan now. So why does he need to go to Leinster? He just wanted, the news out there, whether it was him, whether it was an agent, whether it was, we really need to make sure that this narrative is spoken about. And it might not become reality. Leinster probably sat there going, how much is he? Can we afford him? But
what do you think he's worth?
Ardy?
To Leinster.
700.
He wouldn't come for that.
No, he'd be getting more in Japan, wouldn't
he? He wouldn't come for that.
Mil?
If they offered him a mil, I think he'd come, because it's a statement, isn't it? And then he could be the first player that comes across and they're like, he's being paid $1 million. So everything around that. I know Ardy loves the Raz and Daz and all of that stuff around being hyped up. So pay him $1 million, he'll come, I think.
Lions fixture announced with France.
Love it.
I do. I loved it when it was announced.
What are you moaning about now?
But Is it going to be proper France, or is it going to be France minus Bordeaux players, minus Toulouse players?
Probably.
Yeah.
Unless I have globalised the season at that point.
Have you managed it yet, James?
Have I what?
Have you managed it? Globalisation of the season?
By 2029, if it isn't changed, I won't be here.
Where will you be?
We'll be commentating on something else.
Really?
Paddle or something.
What are we commentating on? Paddle?
Paddle's the fastest growing sport, isn't it?
I thought it was slap fighting.
Oh, how
No,
good's
that's-
that?
yeah.
We could commentate on that.
Yeah, that's dying a slow death. No pun intended. My goodness me. Yeah, it's great. I'd love to see a Lions tour in France. You could
I
see,
would.
you imagine how good that would be. So if you're talking about innovation and where do you fit it into a cat, I don't know. You know, you
This
couldn't
is
you couldn't do it every 16 years.
Creating a bigger problem,
Could
aren't you? With desires of wanting to keep traditional things around the Lions tour, but also growing it. You imagine the French, and you actually think about French clubs, right? They play top 14 games. They got 26 games in the top 14, plus the Champions Cup, plus the Autumn Internationals, plus it's no wonder Canal Plus are moaning because they're sending second teams everywhere. And it's the same. Then you've got the playoffs as well. They're madness the amount of rugby that they play. So you're going to have to globalise the season, James.
There you go. I would like to see it though. A little bit of URC
Yes, James.
news. I know they've been trying to, in the background, look at different teams. There's talk of the US, talk of London Irish, Ealing Trail Finders as well. They've got a bit of budget, but they've been blocked by the RFU. Bill, what's going on?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? So they're looking at replacing an axed Welsh region that's not been axed yet. And who knows what's happening there. And then everyone else is like, oh, if you get axed, we'll come in. And then the RFU have gone, no, you must stay in the championship. Or
But Georgia,
the black line would make sense, I reckon, wouldn't it?
yeah, from Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would make sense. Yeah, it kind of pushes Georgia into the tier one market of
Bit of extra travel in the
rugby.
URC. There's not
I
enough
know. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, yeah, it'd be good to see the Georgia Black Lions. You know, Georgian players love them. Brilliant players. You know, when you look at that, you're like, oh, whoa.
Dragons against black lions.
You know what, though? The URC are very innovative and they are very, very keen to collaborate and work. And, you know, Martin and I, he's been on the show before. We've had him. And it's tough, isn't it? Because it's so, at the minute you're looking at it, you'd be like, well, what's happening to the Welsh teams? Well, we need to fill that fixture there. Otherwise, we've got one less team. So,
But they've not even sorted out what's happening in their own house yet, have they, the Welsh?
yeah, but this is a bit bigger than the Welsh. You're right. So the Welsh team, but then the URC have got the house. Wales are in the bedrooms.
Yeah. And they're trying to knock down a bedroom.
Or share a bedroom.
Well, yeah, you lot share and we'll have our own ones over here.
Some other sad news on some injuries, and this goes to the Irish stuff where they're struggling in the front row. England, Asher Apoko Fajour ruled out the Six Nations after surgery to his shoulder. Will Stewart is also injured.
Seems like a bit of a crisis there, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, that's, I mean,
Tight head crisis.
yeah, maybe, yeah. Big man crisis.
Bring back Carl Sinclair.
Carl Sinclair's doing very well at Toulon. Do you make an exception for him? But he's standout there. Here's one, Max Laheath, quirky.
Nah, not tired.
Get him in there.
So what are you tired? Joe Hayes.
Joe Hayes has been great.
Yeah.
Joe
Really
Hayes has
good.
been great.
I think
Really
he's
stepped
pushing
up.
Will Stewart.
Yeah.
If Will Stewart was fit, I think he's that good.
Well, yeah, I think Joe was starting. I think Joe would be number one tight head at the minute. And then you've got Trevor Davison, who's doing his thing at Northampton from Newcastle, but struggled in the scrum.
Yeah.
Again. But it doesn't really matter. He's been capped. And Afo, friend of the show, for Sogbon at Gloucester, maybe. I don't know. You're English, mate. You start naming.
I'm trying to think.
people.
Billy Saller at Bath. I'm trying to think who else there is. It's mad, isn't it? When you lose a couple, then you start thinking, oh, geez, where do we go?
Maybe we sold it on last week's episode when we talk about props, scrimmaging in bars in flip-flops and scrapping.
That was good fun, that
Maybe we
wasn't it?
didn't. We should say that props were, I don't know if they still are, the highest paid players in the game. The tight head was.
Fly off as
Fly
well.
off the quarterback, yeah.
It is a bit worrying when you think about how strong France's scrum is, looking ahead at the Six Nations. If England are light a few, Ireland are light a few.
Yeah.
Well, France have got bigger problems. Untermac injured.
Yeah, so in other news, Roman Intermac is out for the first 2 rounds of the Six Nations.
But you can replace him with Jalibert. It's not a bad swap, is it?
Not if you're
Not,
Fabien Galtier.
yeah.
You think Ramos plays 10?
Well, he's been playing 10
Yeah.
and He's not liking Jalibert, is he? Mathieu Jalibert.
There's an issue between Jalibert and Gaultier, and it's whether it's public, whether it's behind closed doors. But Jalibert's thrown his toys out the pram and said he wants to go back to Bordeaux because he's not involved or whatever. He sent him off, and then they try and patch it up and make it all good. You can't not pick Jalibert, right? Unless you're Fabien Gaultier and you can do what you want. But interestingly, Ramos has played fullback the last 2 weeks, and they put Blair Kinghorn at 10 for Toulouse, which you'd have thought if they're all working together, maybe that means Jalibert's coming in, and they're going to pick Jalibert. Because it's mad when Jalibert's not involved.
Champions Cup winners playing 10 for one of the best teams in all the hemisphere. Maybe they'll patch it up with the French.
Well, our London live show for the Six Nations sold out straight away, didn't it, boys?
Did it?
Did it?
In seconds, apparently.
In seconds?
That's what the slug said.
Well, there we go. But I'm seeing here, Rob, that we've got some VVIP tickets back.
What does that mean? Very, very important.
I don't know what VVIP means.
Very, very important people.
Yeah, I know what it means, but I don't know what it means in the context of
We've kept some tickets back.
Okay, right, fine. That's the way of putting it. Very special tickets have been kept back.
Yeah, thanks to GHA Discovery, we're live at the 12th Knot Rooftop Bar at Sea Containers on the 18th of February with Dan Bigger and an Irish guest, a very big Irish guest who ain't happy at the minute, is he, Jim?
No, he's not, no.
Ahead of England versus Ireland.
Yeah, if you've missed out but you still want in, then you can get in. All you need to do is email team@therugbypod.com. That is not the team, it's just team. Will that get through to you, Rob? What's the answer?
Who's it
Me,
go to?
I'm checking the mailbox.
Right, nice.
So
Team.
it'll almost definitely come through.
Delete
Okay.
all. Do you press delete all and they're gone? I just hope they email back if it's important.
I'm going to email and see if he replies. Team@therugbypod.com with your GHA Discovery membership number, so we know that you've signed up to GHA. And the first 20 people to do so get a pair of special VIP tickets to come to the show. You just need to sign up through the link on our website. That is specific, isn't it, Rob? On therugbypod.com. You have to be on our website.
Yes.
Is that so we can get their details? Is that why? So we can sell them more and broad?
Potentially.
Is it? Okay, that's where the value is in business. Worked that out recently. Wherever you're listening, sign up to GHA Discovery via therugbypod.com for your Six Nations or Champions Cup away days. There's 900 hotels worldwide, wide. A free gold upgrade for pod listeners, perks, and $50 towards a stay.
So get on it. Rugbypod.com. Sign up to GHA Discovery. And you get free $50.
Right, should we speed through these other results, boys?
Yeah, we're on to the round of 16 now, but we do need to make a nod to a few of the games. Where do we go, Andrew? Let's go...
Bath were good.
Bath were good.
You talk about contenders. Bath, I don't know, it was a very weakened Edinburgh team, but Bath are potential winners of this competition with the squad they've got. And like you said before, the change and the dynamics of everything when it comes back in April... It could be a different picture, but the squad they've got, Alfie Barbary has been on fire.
Have you given him man of the match? Is it you who's...
I gave him man of
that?
the match this week, yeah.
Yeah.
3 in a bounce, isn't it?
It is nice that, you know, when you give someone man of the match and you see them on camera, same with George Horn. I would have
Yeah.
gave it to Carl Stein, but George Horn I was happy with that as well.
Because of the 150th as
Yeah,
well.
I know. But
And
that's
he created one and he scored
but
one.
that's what you do. It's when you like
Build the
someone.
build the
But
narrative.
you are becoming influential. You're giving Alfie Barbary man of the match.
Well, I know Steve won't
Rightly
pick him,
deserved.
so...
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. But he was great as well. Joe Thockensinger was good
Yeah.
as well. And people are saying he should be in the England squad. I'm sorry, bro. You've had your shot. You're good enough to do it. For me, he is or was a sleeping giant of the game. Always felt like he had a little bit more, and his stats at the weekend were incredible.
Yeah. Max Ajomo played well as well. Great hands at
Love
the
him.
line. Square at the line. Really nice kid. Proper ball player.
Yeah.
Can make breaks, can be a great distributor, brings people off his shoulders, throws lovely seeds out. Imagine playing outside. Well, you can't imagine it because you wouldn't run the wide channels, but ball playing 12 is key.
He's wicked.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah. So big shout out to Bath. They were brilliant against a second, third string, injury hampered, rested a lot of players as well. But big shout out to Bath.
Shout out Northampton beating Scarlets.
Yeah.
Eduardo Todaro got a hat-trick as well.
He's a wicked player.
He's class.
He is
Really
so good. He's obviously loose. He's been red and yellow carded a few
All
times.
over
in
the
band.
shop.
Yeah, but he's Italian. The Italian Stallions. Yeah. So big shout out to Northampton Scarlets. A few changes in the week for them. we should have said in other news, but the Welsh teams unfortunately go a little bit amiss, don't they? But my former coach, Nigel Davis.
He's back.
He's back. Lovely dude in. He is a lovely, lovely bloke.
Loved the night out in Cheltenham as well,
Yeah,
didn't
him
he?
and Ross Moriarty's dad, Sarge, were my coaches for a year, and it was a great time. And he loved the town as well. But Dwayne Peel has gone back to coaching, and Nigel Davis has come to front it for a little bit and coach. Anyway, Scarlets looked a little bit better, but Northampton do what they do, and
They pulled themselves back, Scarlets, didn't they?
yeah, that's what I mean. They got to within 3 or 4 points, didn't
Yeah,
they?
five.
Close.
Quick maths.
Round
Quick
it
maths. But yeah, I mean, Saints home, last 16 now, and you know it's they're always going to be dangerous with the players they've got, and add into it with Todaro. He just scores tries for fun, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. We'll give a nod to Leicester Tigers. We were with Ollie Chesham earlier. There's a cool interview coming out with him that we did with Honda as well, and we were speaking about this. They sent a weakened team down to Cape Town, and they fired a few shots.
Young George Pearson looked good.
He did.
Not his first rodeo in this competition either. He played well against La Rochelle as well, didn't he? In round one.
And seeing Billy Searle again at 10, just more and more games, very, very positive stuff coming from Leicester. I know they didn't win the game, but they've managed to qualify into the round of 16. And you think of the players that they rested, not an easy place to go and play. They would have enjoyed the sun. And
then
that was about it.
It pitched it doing in the game as well. So it was sunny at the start,
Yeah.
and then absolutely hosed it down in the game. So probably maybe a bit of a leveller. Stormers, do you think mentally that shellacking they took last week at Quins has affected them? Because they weren't.
I think they're confused on the tournament. I don't know. I watched these South African teams. I'm like, man, this is the Champions Cup. Play like it.
Yeah.
Come on. Where are you?
Let's be having ya.
Right, last one that we'll round up. Andrew, we'll do a quick one on that. And I feel bad rounding it up quick, but we have other matters to get onto. But Bristol's lost to Bordeaux at home. I tell you what, it looked banging at Bristol's ground. Yeah, they looked good. There was a few. I mean, the ball was slippery.
Oh, that's the thing. You got two of the most attacking sides in the competition going at each other to win the group or come second, which obviously was the narrative around the game, and it pissed it down with rain, didn't it?
Yeah, but Louis BLBRA managed to score a hat-trick.
Wheels.
And he is an incredible player. Probably the informed winger at the minute and gets man of the match. And does that put Bordeaux as favourites at the minute?
Possibly.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
I think they're fallible though.
Yeah, I feel that about them. I don't know why. But anyway, I've been really impressed with Bristol, and we've mentioned that. And the question is, do they have a hope against Toulouse in April? I'm going to throw it out there.
Pray for a dry day.
They'll cause trouble. You saw they scored, what did they get, 60 odd in the balls, in the sunshine, at altitude.
There's something in this Bristol's team. I'm not willing to go there because Toulouse, in my mind, are Toulouse. But they've not been amazing this season.
Some movement in the transfer market.
What you got? What's your favourite one, Roberto?
Why is everyone leaving Glasgow?
Money.
Well, yeah. And sunshine. There's no sunshine in Glasgow, I'll tell you that. I've been up there a lot this year and it's cold.
I mean, this is the negative on Glasgow, right? Because if you think of the players that they've had, Finn Russell, okay, leaves, then that opens the door for your Adam Hastings to play, and you get to get a proper look at him. I know he went to Gloucester and he's moved around a bit, and he's off to Montpellier. Sione Tuipulotu signs, big money dollar, and rightly so, captain of Scotland. Does that mean they've got the cash, one, to pay Hugh Jones? Not sure. Then I see Hugh Jones doing his French, thanking Toulon. I was like, he's been learning French, clearly,
For a while.
in the background.
He nearly went to Bayonne, didn't he?
Nearly went to Bayonne, that's right. So he nearly went to Bayonne a couple of years ago. And he's also, yes, he's a Scotland lad with an English accent. And
There's a few of you.
my point is he's travelled. He played rugby in South Africa. So that's clearly something that he likes doing. And there's a lot of Scotland lads playing in a lot. There's a few playing in the top 14 now. Montpellier, Hoggy's there. Ali Price is there. Now Adam Hastings is going there. And it looked like he was going anyway. I know Hugh Jones played in London as well, likes to get about. But I was gutted to see that. But then what that does do, and this is what does bode well for Scotland and a team like Glasgow, is and Stafford McDowell might play anyway because of some of the injuries or whatever, but he's played more this season when Hugh Jones has been injured, and you've actually seen how good Stafford is. That then opens that door, and then because there's no Super 6, which is the semi-pro tournament, you can actually bring more and more players through. It's a horrible thing to take because Franco Smith will want to keep his best players, right? But you're going to see that more and more now, and you're going to see it more and more as the players become better and better. I know Scott Cummins has re-signed, but if you're like a Rory Darge and someone's looking for an out-and-out 7, and someone comes in and be like, mate, we're going to pay you 600 grand because we want a poacher, can Glasgow afford to keep him? What's the salary cap? No one knows. But yeah, I was gutted. Sorry, my point being to see Hugh Jones go, and then Ignacio Bretz gets confirmed as well. Toulon are building a team. Biggs is over there doing a bit of kicking with them. So Toulon, when you look at what they're doing now, and they're trying to build, Junior Kapoku's just signed as well.
Yeah, let's talk about Junior Kapoku, because we're talking about transfers.
Chaos.
Like, has he played much rugby?
Yeah, yes. He plays at Racing 92. Yeah, he plays all the time.
Does he?
Yeah. England 20s. He was like, he was the guy before Henry Pollard. Everyone was like, Junior
We had him
Kapoku.
on here and he was calling out names. Like, where are you?
Everyone wanted him.
Where are you?
So Racing
I've
92.
never seen it in him.
Racing 92, I think there's something in him, but he needs a bit of stability. My agent's his agent. So he's the guy, but he's being pulled pillar to post. And when you're in that French system and Racing don't want you, they do want you, they're keeping you. We don't want you, go to Toulon. Transfer fees from Sale, how much? No one knows. Rugby, it's chaos. He's trying to go to Sale. He's gone to Toulon. But I don't know if he signed there long term.
I've heard he's on loan, right?
He's on loan there for this season, but Toulon will want to keep him. He is wanted in France as a young lad,
I'll
21
be honest,
years old.
I ain't seen it.
Okay.
Have you seen it as a second row?
I haven't yet. I've seen potential.
Okay.
And that's what I'll say. I'd say that's what I've seen. I didn't see it massively in Ollie Chesham, like we were chatting to Ollie today, and then look what he's done and come through in the right environment.
Yeah, true.
For me, Junior Kapoku at Sale would do really well. Alex Anderson would get the best out of him. I don't think France is the place for him, but it's hardly Euros that. Sticking with second rows.
Yes.
Didn't see this coming. John Klein at
They're
Gloucester.
building a squad.
Again.
Gloucester, they're building a squad again. Yeah, he's going there for the support and the support. Yeah, they're building a squad. Yeah, Jean-Claude Hody was going back to South Africa, but Gloucester, they've obviously got a bit of money, right? And they've got Jack Morgan, Dowie Lake coming, Thomas Williams is leaving. Yeah, they do need a big second row. They need to invest in their forwards, and they've done that. They've got Dowie Lake, massive fan of him. Jack Morgan, we're all a massive fan of him. And Jean Klein has been a
They'd
brilliant...
be way better, won't they?
To play for Ireland and South Africa, you have to be a decent player. So,
Easy.
yeah, easy. Good signing for Gloucester.
Rafi Quirk, you mentioned it before. Rob, you want to mention it, don't you? Is that the one that moves the needle for you?
No. He's a wicked player, massive fan of Rafi Quirk. Massive fan of him. He doesn't move the needle for me. Not that he needs to move anything for me.
I also think it's going to be a decent battle for that 9 jersey between Benitez Cruz. He's really good.
Yeah, he is actually.
Does it move the needle for you? So when you see Rafi Quirk, and it's big money apparently he's signed for.
It is big money. But I think we've got different opinions on what needs to happen at Newcastle. You're viewing it as Red Bull are here. I want them to sign
Cheslin.
Pont.
What did I read about Cheslin Colby?
Yeah, I saw something on him as well.
Like a £10 million deal for 3 years or something.
Where at?
Newcastle.
Red Bulls.
I haven't even
It
read
was out
this.
there.
I'd take that. I would take
It could
that.
be AI. I
No,
don't know what to believe
I
anymore.
saw that tweet and it came from a fake French account. Which
Oh, the French, eh?
You've built me up and then dragged it straight down. I would rather Newcastle build a full squad. That's what they need. They need a full squad of players. So for me, if they were going to spunk all their money on one or two big signings, which would please you, I would rather see them doing what they're doing, which is building a squad.
Yeah, and you are right in that.
That's the difference. You're a hype man and he's a
Realist.
realist, yeah.
Well, he's a realist, yeah. You live up there. And your way is the right way. It is. And when you actually see players like Rafi Quirk, who is on that England periphery.
Good word, James.
Thank you very much.
Great word.
I was thinking about that 3 words before, which is an evolution in my mind. Yeah. But I think it's not statement sign because it doesn't really matter because you could bring a Cheslin Colby and pay him that much when he gets injured, wrecks his Achilles on the 4G pitch and he's done and it's pointless. My thing is an aesthetic hype. Like Rafi Quirk is a brilliant player. I really, really like him as a player. But you know what I mean? Like a Lewis Rees-Zammit, not necessarily that he is going to do it on a Friday night. I know. But it's obviously happening, which is really good. It's great for the Prem. It's great for the Prem. So fair play to everyone at Newcastle. Do you call them Newcastle? Do you call them Red Bulls now?
Red Bulls, I'm
You
all
do.
in.
Look, mate,
Super
Red
fan,
Bull
isn't he?
or Bulls?
Both.
Anything. He's happy with it.
Stefan Lewis is leaving Quins as well.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Stefan Lewis as well, or Stefan, whatever you say.
Stefan Lewis.
Yeah, captain the club as well, and he's going back to the Sharks. It'd be interesting to see what they do as well, with Sia Khaleesi leaving and what they do with Eben. And
what are they doing with Eben?
I don't know what they'll do with Eben. I don't know.
He's having a big holiday at the minute, isn't he?
There you go. That's what I mean. Well, whether or not they'll see that they're getting the value out of Eben. That's just me saying that.
Well, I think if you're South African, it's all about World Cups, isn't it? Isn't it mad how you stick a green jersey on them and they're unbelievable, and then you stick a club jersey on them, you're like, don't want it anywhere near as much, do they?
Contact sport, mate. That's what it is.
Right then, should we finish things off with the good, the bad and the ugly?
Yes, let's. And there was plenty of good this weekend. Starting on Friday night, Bath putting 63 points on Edinburgh. Toulouse on Saturday put 77 on the Sharks. They weren't Sharks. They were the Tuners. The
Sharks, Shags.
They were awful. What else was good? Bordeaux, 20 from 20 group points. Big shout out to them. As were Glasgow, 20 from 20 group points. Played 4-1-4 with 5 points in each game. Castres get a big shout out in the Goode as well, beating Munster at Thomond Park to knock out Munster. Not sure many people saw that one coming. But the Goode this week is going to go to Harlequins, beating La Rochelle for the first time ever over in La Rochelle. Not only did they beat La Rochelle, they knocked La Rochelle out, but they allowed Leicester to make their way into the last 16. So Harlequins fans, you've had a hammering on here at times, and rightly so. And I'll also give you the big ups as well when you deserve it. And you certainly do deserve it for winning over in La Rochelle. 27-17. So big shout out to Harlequins. That's why you win the Goode.
Go on, you Quins.
Yeah, a few bits of bad. Bayonne played 4, lost 4 in this competition. The Investec Champions Cup. Claremont as well played 4, lost 4. And the Scarlets played 4, lost 4. That ain't good, is it? But then you've got teams with 1 win that have qualified as well. So those 3 clubs get a mention in the bad. As does Carl Dixon again. I don't know, did you see the footage from the weekend where he's grabbing a jersey, helping
He's
the
just
Bulls player?
encouraging attacking rugby game.
Mate, what he's doing is assisting tries. He still thinks he's playing. 2 videos have come out from that game. He creates 2 tries for the Bulls. One, he knocks the guard out the way defensively and they score in a pick and go. And the other one, tugging a guy's jersey when you're the referee to get him out of a maul. What are you doing? What are you doing, Carl Dixon? So you get mentioned the bad. But unfortunately, the bad has to go to Sale this week. Sent the kids to Toulouse, took 77 points. It was ugly. Toulouse were outstanding, but Sale, Alex Sanderson, I know you rested a few. I know you've got a few injuries, but I don't think you've done any of those kids much good by sending them over to potentially one of the biggest clubs in Europe and taking an absolute hiding. So that's why Sale win the bad this week. And then the ugly, only bit of ugly I could find was Yerim Fall, which is ironic. Yerim Fall, because he got sent off for Claremont for taking out Penke on the wing. He fell into the tackle and he took him out in the air. So 20-minute red card for Yerim Fall. Took Penke out in the air. Looked ugly. Red card. 20 minutes. That's why he wins the ugly.
Fall out of fall.
Fall is he's fallen to the... When you're in the ugly and you've won the ugly, you have fallen. So Fall has won the ugly and he has fallen.
Right, lads, shout out to finish.
Yes, sir. We got a few, Andrew, as always, and this one is going to near Twickenham in London, posh. Richmond Colts under-18s who headed over to Dublin this weekend on tour, in particular to Maya Rushby and Oliver Cross, who has coached and herded the group around for 7 years. So big shout out to everyone involved in grassroots rugby, but specifically the Richmond Colts under-18s. And I love how they've put that in there about, we were doing this, we were doing that. We know the parents have gone there for a good time. And hopefully everyone did have a good time.
Yeah, 100%. Also, we're going to give a massive shout out to Morriston RFC in South Wales, celebrating their 150th anniversary. And apparently you got to say, Upper Monkeys, boy.
Maybe that's where Elvis is.
We found him.
Final shout out to Scotland.
Oh, here we go.
In the Borders. Selkirk, they shouldn't be listening, under 14s who are fundraising, so they should be listening. It's a good thing. To head to Austria. Hello. Come on, Andrew, let me hear you. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, here he is. Swallowing razor blades. This June to represent Scotland at the United World Games. A massive effort, as always, from everyone involved. And if we can help them out, we being you, then head to the Facebook page, Selkirk Rugby, and get behind the lads and Scotland.
Before we go, boys, Jim, can you clear something up for me?
Yes, sir.
Was that picture of you in Noah Kalori AI?
No,
No.
100% no. Have you never seen his abs?
Well, I've had probably about 15 people come up to me over this weekend and say, fucking hell, Jim's in good nick, isn't he?
Great nick.
Even Dan Bigger, who was in a room with you last week, said to me, Jim's looking good now, isn't he?
Yeah, I am. He's right.
Trains
He's
hard.
right. I showed my missus that photo of me and Noah Kalori, and she went bright red. And I was thinking, he's only 18, but she's gone bright red at me. And I'm thinking, I've never seen her go red. I'm like, that means that she wants me to look like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? She was Jim.
That's why you got to get the jeans on and keep working out, Jim.
So I'm going to keep working out. Anyway, thanks for that shout out. That's a shout out to the behind the scenes content that I did with Sarries. Thank you, Rob. It's on Saracens YouTube.
It's very good, mate.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And no, I'm not shredded, but we are just utilising the tools that we have.
AI.
Slow count AI, basically. I don't look like that, and I'd love to. Big thank you to everyone. We are nearly at 100,000 subscribers on
keep
YouTube.
saying nearly.
Well, nearly, but
Rob wants his
chipping
bonus.
away. We are chipping away, and I'm there for it. To get to 100,000 would be really cool. I don't know how we haven't got there before. We've had no business plan. We've been on the back of a fag packet, but we're there. We're nearly at 100,000. So thank you for everyone who follows us on YouTube. If you don't, please go and follow us on YouTube as well. The videos, there's the shorts on there. It's YouTube. It's cool. But as always, thank you to everyone on Spotify, mainly, but all the other podcast channels. We appreciate every one of you. Rugby Spot.
Spot, pod.